Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm 40 years old. I'm from Gloucester. I'm a personal trainer, and 6 years ago I started a journey, and I'm here today at Skinny Foods, where it began actually, to talk about it with you. So I am starting to be proud. I have not really stopped to think about the weight loss. It's 12 stone in total from 22 stone where I started. I think it's the first time I've sat down and had a cup. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. Vanilla, favourite. People sort of ask me about it and show them pictures and things like that, and I do feel a little bit, not cringe, but funny about it. The proudest achievement for me is the internal. You can shed external weight, but obviously the progress internally has been great. Everyone's got their own journeys to be on, but me personally, I do hold my head a little bit higher, and I think you have to go through some sort of adversity. You have to go through some suffering, certainly with the transformation to this extent, which I have done. So I've almost sort of rebuilt myself and built resistance. I think the greatest thing, being completely open and honest, is my resistance. I've actually discovered that about myself along the way. I didn't know I had it in me. When I look back, I almost wanted to speak to that guy and say, how did you, a guy that I was on the floor, sat there trying to sit up to feed my newborn child. I look back now and I sort of want to say to him, mate, you had it in you. I think everyone has that in them to an extent. I really do. I really do believe that. I don't know who that guy is anymore. I've shed a lot of things, not just weight along the way, and I'm still going. I'm not sure where I'm going to, but I'm pushing forward is the main thing. I'm not sat static anymore. I didn't like myself very much. I didn't like the person that looked in the mirror. I would go out into bars and things, and obviously I could just sense people would sort of look at me and things like that. I laughed it off and joked it off and, sort of took the mickey out of myself to sort of hide that. But I think deep underneath I knew I could do better. It was one thing at a time. If I'd have sat there and thought 6 years, it would have blown my head off. So it was literally just one thing at a time. Small changes. I was mad for sauces. Like ketchup, mayonnaise. My mum, she's a nurse, and it was a running joke. She was like, what's those sauces? And I didn't listen. And I'd drown things in mayonnaise. Literally, it would be like chips floating about. And people would always take the mickey and be like, do you want some chips or a sauce? And it's tiny steps of like, okay, I'll try 0 calorie sauces. I'll try skinny food sauces. And that was literally a small step like that. Literally one small step, and then it's a domino effect. The human body is designed to adapt to its surroundings. So if you stay in your current surroundings, nothing's going to change. And so my body started to adapt into new nutrition, to new types of sauces. It wasn't like I was dieting. I replicated what I liked. And so I wasn't tied to stupid diets. I've been like a human guinea pig for every diet out there, because I tried literally every single diet there is, from the Atkins diet to the intermittent fasting to weight loss clubs, which are great to start off with. But what I found is that in order to keep something consistently going for a significant period of time, 6 years is a significant period of time, you need to be happy. Most people, when we're on a diet, we're not happy. We're grumpy and moody and things like that. So what I found is that balance. It's almost something I call it my little armoury, like weaponry. Sort of looking at the sauces now behind you, sort of pull them out of my bag. I love sugary foods. I love chocolate spread. I love jam. I love treats. And what I found is I can literally transition and swap those things out for something that tastes exactly the same. And so it's not really as much hard as work as what people think it is. Just basically just shopping differently. So yeah, it's been a godsend for me personally. For me personally, everyone each to their own individually, but for me personally, it's worked consistently. I want to keep a healthy relationship with food. Like yo-yo dieting and things like that, and crash dieting, you're not going to build a healthy relationship with food, and you're not going to build a healthy relationship with yourself. And like I say, the most important thing about this transformation is trying to build a healthy relationship with myself, because I didn't used to like myself very much. It's real, man. Yeah. I was approached by a number of top brands out there, but it's not authentic. I'd not really used their brands through my transformation. And so in contact with Skinny Food, it's like, well, yeah, I've literally, like, every prep photo, there's a Skinny Food sauce in the background. You can have these foods, but at the same time, you've got to do the work as well. The range is like a weaponry. It's like an armoury. That's a tool that I use. I think it's the best tool out there. Personally, for me, it's almost like a cheat code. I tell people, and I speak to people down the gym, like, oh no, especially lads are like, oh no, I'm not, and I'm like, lads, trust me, there's sometimes a bit of a stigma attached, like, I'm not having that, or I'm having, steak, and there's like a running joke, because in my bag, I've usually got like the chocolate spread or the jam, and I pull it out and I'm like, yeah, and it's like, oh, here he is again with his little naughty skinny selection. But I'm like, it works. It tastes naughty, but it's not. I mean, I'm not saying like yam half a jar of chocolate spread in, you know, but I mean, I've done it. I've literally, you know, finger scooped. You can't help it, it's lush. Also as well, with the skinny bars or the crunch bars, calories are literally on the packet right in front of you. You don't have to look inside, sort of counting. That's another thing as well. I think this really important. It's pretty much there for you. Try this. It will tell you exactly how many calories. 0 sugar. Work out what a calorie deficit is, and it's literally on most of the labels. It's there right in front of you. It takes away the hard work. I feel good bigging it up because it's true. It's like these are the things that I find hard. A former coach of mine, really good guy, he called me, nicknamed me Captain Chaos, because I was literally disorganised, chaotic. I'm really hard to coach. I'm trying to juggle, obviously, work, my daughter, everything else. But I don't always have the time. And that's the thing with having the armoury, weaponry of Skinny Foods. It's just there, it's done for you. Instead of going to Costa or Starbucks and getting a vanilla cappuccino, like I come in today, the first thing is like, oh, do you want a cup of coffee, Dan? I'm like, can I have vanilla, please? And it's like, I can have a black Americano at home, vanilla syrup, and it's banging. You're saving yourself money, and it tastes just the same. And so it's these small little changes like that. People sort of want to try this diet and try that diet. It's literally just finding something you enjoy that works for you, that you're going to keep doing. You need to be healthy and happy. I can tell you now from personal experience, like, being really slim is not going to make you happy. It's like about balance, about enjoying the food. Especially, it's something for me personally I can enjoy with my family, with my daughter. With sugar, I find personally it affects my behaviour. There was thousands and thousands of years that humans went without sugar. We can actually live without sugar. But it's one of the most addictive foods in the world. So my daughter's, obviously, it's great having treats and things like that. And, I do treat her more than I should. But what I have found is that on certain days, she'll actually prefer a Skinny Crunch bar. And she doesn't know the difference whatsoever. And I feel happy in myself. I know that she's not going to have those sugar spikes. Eating is a social thing. We all enjoy eating socially, and I can be inclusive. And it's like, sometimes I felt excluded. And you do when you're dieting, you feel excluded. With the skinny range, it's not like that, because it's like everyday foods. You're not sort of walking around with like rabbit food and lettuce. A few years ago, obviously, I was a new dad, and one of the main goals was I want to run around with my daughter, and that sort of drove me forwards. And enjoy things with my daughter. And when you can't sort of sit up off the floor and you're sat there watching Netflix all the time, and I wasn't always the best father. I hold my hands up to that, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to be more active. Fast forward a few years, it was a Sunday morning, and it was Father's Day. It's my ex-partner, my daughter, my ex-partner's daughter, and we were making pancakes, and we had the golden syrup sauce, and it was honestly like a beautiful moment. Get up early on a Sunday morning, making them together, and I thought, yeah, that was the first time I was like, okay, sorry. That for me is real life and living. I'd spent years dossing out on the sofa, and nutrition, change of foods to just change your life, and that was a significant moment for me. What I'm now taking forwards with me is that, okay, I can do things if I believe in myself a bit more, if I make better choices. A lot of people will find motivation in celebrities and things like that. I'm finding motivation like just in the people around me. The average guy down the gym, like a bigger guy on his first day in the gym, and he's struggling. I can see him, I'm like, go on mate, come on. A girl on her own with the headphones on, she's there working on herself. That motivates me. The foundation of that is built on nutrition. The gym, the training, everything else is the fun part, but you have to have something to fuel it with. And so I'm glad, obviously, I found something that works for me. I found Skinny Foods 6 years ago. And so, yeah, my name's Dan, and that's my journey. And thanks for having me.